Alright guys, so as you're finishing your first week of Calculus 1, there are some rules you should know about when it comes to limits, just kind of tips to keep in mind. So let's get right into that. Let's make this video quick and short so you don't have to spend all day here knowing what to do. So first off, the easiest way to solve a limit obviously is direct substitution. Sometimes you'll have limits where there's nothing on the bottom. So there's no discontinuities, so all you have to do is just plug that number in and boom, you get your limit. You don't need to do anything complicated, overthinking, none of that. When you're solving limits graphically, if it gives you a graph, just read the graph. You don't need to think about the function, you don't need to like analyze the slope, whatever, and then be like, oh, blah, blah. No, just look at the graph, honestly. Like it's there for you. And pretty easy to analyze it. Another way to solve limits, sometimes if you have stuff on the bottom, you can factor stuff out on top that will cancel out with the stuff on the bottom, and then once you have that canceled out, what do you have to do? Direct substitution, like before. That's all you have to do. Sometimes you'll also be faced with limits that have like square roots, weird stuff, all that. Last semester in Math 140, and if you didn't take Math 140, I'm sure you took pre-cal or something in high school. Last semester, you guys learned how to conjugate. All you really have to do is conjugate it and then try the limit again, and if it works, boom, you're done. Piecewise functions, when you're given piecewise functions, it is super important that you know where each piecewise function is defined. And always make sure, as I said before, when it asks you approaching from a certain side or another side, just make sure that you're doing it right, the right side. When it comes to limits at infinity, you just really got to think of the top and the bottom and how fast each of them grow. Sometimes you'll have the top growing way faster, and sometimes the bottom will grow way faster. If the top grows faster than the bottom, what does that mean? We'll reach infinity. If the bottom grows faster than the top, then that's basically 1 over infinity, which gives a 0. So finally, you will have some trigonometry limits that you'll definitely have to memorize, because those are just like really hard to solve if you don't have them memorized. It involves squeeze theorem and all those sorts of things. So it's better off if you have them memorized. I'm gonna put a list of them right here for y'all. And yeah, you just gotta make sure you have those memorized. Lastly, I'm sure you all know, I mean, there's the basic limits kind of properties. You can add, subtract limits, split them up, dividing, you can analyze each one individually. Just make sure you apply those rules when it's a good time to apply those rules. That's week 1, limits, and now all we have left to move on to is continuity.